Investigations point to a possible start of Ebola outbreak back to August 2014 in West Africa and was first declared in Magina, a small town of 40,000 people in North Kivu province, Democratic Republic of Congo, declared their 10th outbreak of Ebola in 40 years on 1st August 2018, with the number of cases having surpassed 3,000 and remains a serious public health concern. On 14th July 2019, the first case of Ebola was confirmed in Goma, the capital of North Kivu, and on July 30th, a second case was also diagnosed, with 2 more cases announced. In mid-August, the epidemic spread to neighboring South Kivu province, becoming the 3rd province in DRC to record cases in this outbreak. Across a total of 47 health zones in Ituri and North Kivu provinces, 28 have reported cases of Ebola. However, about 40% of new Ebola cases were never registered as contacts, showing that following up contacts of people diagnosed with Ebola remains difficult. Also, insecurity continues to hamper the efforts to control the epidemic, and this violence further discourages people from seeking care in Ebola treatment centers, resulting in an increased spreading of the virus across the healthcare system. Fighting between the army and armed groups in early May and the killings of a WHO doctor in April in Butambo and a health worker in Busaro have brought outbreak response activities to a standstill. On 11th June, the Ugandan Ministry of Health and WHO confirmed 3 people from the same family tested positive to Ebola in the Kasase district, western Uganda, which borders DRC. Also on August 29th, a new case of a young boy who traveled to DRC with his family was also recorded in the country. Hence, Uganda has not recorded any further cases. Unlike the 2014-2016 West African outbreak, 2 vaccines against Ebola is now existing but are not yet licensed.
I want to ask a question to Uche in health with Ebola. Ebola also is a health disaster for Africa. So Uche, can you give us an update on Ebola situation in DR Congo?
Okay. 2019 witnessed a very almighty epidemic outbreak in Ebola, particularly in the Democratic Republic of Congo. This epidemic that started in West Africa has killed thousands of people, especially in DRC, the North Kivu and Ituri provinces of this country. And it has surpassed the 3,000 cases that has exposed it to being a global health threat. So, but it's just on the DRC. It's not like it raises an alarm on other continents.
Yes, I think concerning this Ebola issue, the government at the initial stage did not really agree on the vaccine that was available for them to treat the issue, and because of this, the former Minister of Health was even removed from office because of this issue of vaccine. What do you bring us up to date on the issue of vaccine that have been made available for the treatment of Ebola?
Ever since Ebola started, I think the very first vaccine that came into being was the RSV, Zibog, and I think that is what they've been using to cure people of Ebola. But of recent, the president of DRC, Felix Tshisekedi, was like, no, that they have to bring up another Ebola vaccine so that they will test it on people. But this health minister, Oli Ilunga, was against it. It was like, we cannot just start using what we've not tested or clinically proven on people. That is better they keep using what they've been using. So because of that, he was demoted by the president.
Yes, I think
so instead of him to continue, he decided to resign.
Yes, I think this issue of Ebola and vaccine has raised a lot of concern. I know recently the World Health Organization also approved one of the treatment of mass Ebola vaccine. I think you are quite aware of that too.
Yes, and I think, Mr. Willie, that every year we talk about Ebola.
Yes.
Because Ebola is like African disease only in Africa. So I think that African Union should do the better for 2020 for Ebola, particularly in DR Congo.
As it stands now, I think the Max vaccine is the best Ebola vaccine so far, because everybody keep bringing up different vaccines just to keep testing.
Yes.
But the Max vaccine, I think so far so good, is the best.
Okay, still on this issue of health, because there was this epidemic cholera outbreak in Cameroon. Let's first get to our correspondent, Carol. Carol, are you there?
Yeah, Joe, I'm there.
Yes, the health issue in 2019 in Cameroon.
Okay, in health issue here, we talked in 2019, we talked mostly about cancers. Cancers after HIV, which is the first major killer of Cameroonian citizens. I mean, sensitization campaigns were held and free test too. Campaign were held around the country to sensitize people about this killer, silent killer, that is threatening the life of thousands of Cameroonians every year here.
Yes.
So they talked about the breast cancer. They talked about the masculine cancer, which is cancer de la prostate cancer. So cancer was the major subject here in Cameroon in 2019.
Okay, there was also this cholera outbreak in that part of the country.
Yeah, cholera outbreak was at the beginning of the year in northern regions of the country, where you have floods every year. You have people who are having water problem to get water. People are having many difficulties to fetch water, to drink potable water in their homes, because there are not public taps in the north regions. That is, I mean, for many years now facing the terrorism with the group, the Boko Haram terrorist group. So people are having more and more problems to get clean water to drink.
Is there anything the government is there anything government is doing to government is doing to restore the water system in that area?
For now, for the moment, we have not seen any major solutions that was brought up by the government. What we are seeing in the northern regions of Cameroon is that private people, like churches, like non-governmental organizations that are trying to help the population with what they call in French forage, but these forage are still very far from the houses. But the population don't have a choice. They have to work to walk on foot kilometers on kilometers to fetch water. The government itself has not started, to take the issue into consideration for the moment.
Thank you very much, Carol. Stay there.
From civil society, non-governmental organization, and other private personalities.
Yes, continue to remain online, because we are going to talk about culture, and we'll also get your point of view on culture. We'll be back with you after this report.